Thank you, Brian. Hey, Coach. Good to see you. Thanks for your time. As always, we appreciate it. Um, I'm curious about how going through your sort of late summer mini bubble, or however you want to describe it, how that has really benefited you, the staff, the players, not so much on the court, but as far as the type of lives you have to lead from a health and safety protocol standpoint, if you want to be able to get through the season healthy.
Well, it gave us a sample of what this season was going to look like. We were testing in the bubble. We were disrupted in how our everyday lives as professionals and basketball players and basketball coaches. It was all disrupted in the bubble. So it gave us a feel of what this would look like. And I think it's helped us transition a little bit smoother here so far. I think our medical and performance team have done a great job starting in the bubble, and it allowed them to sort of test run how this was going to look and run. And so far, it's gone as smooth as possible to this point.
Rick?
Hey, JB, before last season, you made it clear that in close calls, you were going to lean in the direction of youth when it came to playing time. Is this season any different in that regard?
No, I think, this continues to be about development for us. We have a very young team. We've added Gordon, but, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd expect us to be one of the youngest teams in the league again. Last year we played, I believe, the second youngest team next to Atlanta as far as percentage of minutes. We're going to continue to be young, but adding Gordon, he'll be in the mix again. I want to continue to get our guys better, but I'm not driven by that right now. I just want to find the best combinations. And, overall, I'm going to play anybody that's ready to go on any given night. So whether you're a rookie, a veteran, if you earn minutes, whether you're a vet or a young guy, you're going to be on the court.
Does that make it different from the judgments you made last season? I mean, it was very clear when you played virtually half the minutes with first or second players that wasn't happenstance.
Yeah, last year we had a couple of veterans on this group. And, as I said early in the season, I was going to go young and I was going to play younger guys and work on developing the young guys. This season is about performance and going out there and, guys that earn minutes are going to get playing time. And not that the young guys last year didn't earn their playing time. There was just a lot of young guys, and I leaned in that direction. So this year's going to be about you earn your time, whether you're a young guy or a veteran.
Let's go to Raphael and then Richie.
Hello, Coach. Raphael from a three-point conversion. Coach, with the time being different now, you don't have as much time as you usually would have with training camp and preseason. How do you cipher between mixing lineups because you have the talent and then just sticking with, I guess, a certain lineup that you say, okay, this is going to work for the season? How do you cipher between that?
Well, a lot of it's evaluation right now. I'm really learning these guys. I'm playing different combinations right now in practice. We're all into practice too, and, I'm still a ways from learning this group. So we're going to have to learn on the fly. I'm going to have to adjust on the fly and in-game situations, play different lineups, different combinations. My hope is that we practice how we're going to play. But as you know, I'm not afraid to put any combination out there on the floor if that means it gives us the best chance of winning. So a lot of this is going to be trial and error. I'm going to have to evaluate on the fly. We don't have a lot of time, in this very condensed schedule. So it's a challenge, but every team's going through it. And, we're a new team, and I'm trying to get up to speed with them as much as possible. But the guys that we have added, what I can say is the guys that we've added are high basketball IQ guys. So I expect them to pick it up pretty quickly.
So Richie and then Rod.
Hey, JB, this is Richie of the BuzzBeat podcast. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. I have two questions. What's that?
How's the pod doing?
It's doing good. It's doing good. Maybe I can get you on it one day. Two questions. Number one, I asked Gordon Hayward on Tuesday about his ability to shoot from the mid-range and converting from there. He said he had a similar conversation with you about that, about how you preach open threes and getting to the rim. How do you balance your offensive philosophy with a player like Gordon who takes over 40% of his shots from the mid-range while also being very good there as well?
Well, I think he understands the value of the shots that we like. You know, we talk about our offensive identity a lot here, and it really starts with shot selection. The shots you value is really your identity. And to me, I got to be flexible, though, with somebody like Gordon. He's elite in the mid-range. This is a guy that shoots high level in the mid-range. His percentages is at a elite level. He's comfortable in the mid-range. And I'm willing and I'm open to adjust and adapt to that. And we need him to take some mid-range shots. In close game situations, in late game situations, he's got to take those mid-range pull-ups and I expect them to go in. So a lot of that, Richie's just built off of his body of work. You know, he's just done it at such a high level. His percentage says it's good. His volume says it's good. I would just like him to add some more three-point volume to his mix. And his rim volume. I think his rim volume and his three-point volume can go up.
Right. And as a follow-up, you've made it known that you want to get out and push the pace as well. At the age of 30, Gordon Hayward is still a very good transition player out in the open court. Do you have any insight as to how or why he's so good in transition despite his age, despite maybe his injuries as well?
Well, I think, he's just, transition is interesting. We talked about this a lot today with our group. If you've covered us and you've watched us for the last couple of years, we turned the ball over a tremendous amount of transition last year. Advantage basketball, we struggled in that area. And it really just comes down to decision making. He's a guy that can play in the open floor and make decisions on the fly, whether that's getting to the rim, shooting the pull-up, finding somebody that's open. I think a lot of his transition success is just decision making, that he can make the right play in flow in transition. And for young guys, Gordon's, I guess on the older side for the NBA, if you want to put it that way. But young guys they struggle in that area to make decisions on the fly that quickly in transition. And I think last year I tried to play a little bit faster, and we found out that it was tough for our young group, and we were turning the ball over quite a bit. And I tried to slow the gym down a little bit more to get shots on each possession and, value the each possession and get shots every possession. And with someone like Gordon and LaMelo, they're just more comfortable in making decisions in the open court. So I expect our game in transition to be much more efficient.
Appreciate it.
Hey, JB, Rod Boone here. Just wondering, what is your biggest challenge, so far? Obviously, just 2 days into practice, as you mentioned before, and, you have new players. But I'm wondering, what is your biggest challenge, and how do you make sure you don't try to do, I guess, too much too soon with the guys?
Yeah, it's a great question. For me, I want to put everything in today. And as coaches, we want to do that. But I've really got to slow down and recognize this is a new group, new team, new season. We have not played in 9 months, and we've added some new pieces to the puzzle. We're just going to have to take this one day at a time. I think for me, the biggest challenge is just slowing down and not skipping steps, making sure that we're covering the fundamentals, the bases of our system, how we want to play. My gut says I want to put in 15. I just told our staff now I want to put in like 15 new sets right now, right? And my gut says to do that, but I've really got to be patient and slow down and rely on our concepts, our base to be built first. So today was a little bit sloppy, but we're going to have to go through some of those growing pains offensively. What I liked defensively today was just our energy, our effort, our protection of the paint. Those are areas we've really focused on. I think the challenge for me offensively is figuring out these guys, how they fit together. The lineup combination will be a challenge for me. And then making sure that I'm not putting too much on them too early. And I think that's a real challenge. And, the coach I worked for a number of years in San Antonio, he just, constantly reminded us, don't skip steps. You want to get to, home plate quickly, but we've got to hit some singles first before we can get all the way around the bases. So slow down, be patient, one day at a time.
Let's Go to Sam and then wrap up with Rick. We got the players ready to come in after that.
Hey, JB, hope you're doing well. You've talked a lot about LaMelo Ball so far in practice and how he's looked. I was wondering if you just had any initial impressions of Vernon Carey, Nick Richards, the two centers, and then the two-way guys and Nate Darling and Grant Riller, who obviously also have similar skill sets and high scoring and coming from similar schools in Delaware and Charleston.
Yeah, they're all giving us great energy. The two bigs especially, great energy on the floor. I like Richard's size and length out there. I think he's a guy that can give us a lot of defense, over the next year, 2 years. And as we develop him, he's got the length and size we want defensively. So he's done a really nice job there. Vern is a skilled player. I mean, he really knows how to play on the interior, plays with great energy. You can tell he's been coached, and I'm learning those two guys on the fly right now. And Grant's gotten a few minutes out there over the last 2 days, a very heady combo guard for us. So I expect him to continue to grow and get better. I think he's played a lot of pick and roll. I can see that he's played a lot of pick and roll in his past. He knows how to make decisions on the fly. I think he's going to be able to score for us at times. So we have not had Darling in a full practice just yet.
Thank you.
Let's wrap up with Rick, and then we'll get to Vernon.
JB, in the first two practices, who has left the biggest impression on you?
Golly, they've all played well. I mean, it's hard to point to one guy. I'm really encouraged by the development that I've seen in Terry and Tay. I see their leadership. They understand our system, and they've really grown in their playmaking abilities. So I'm really proud of them. They've really worked hard. They've got synergy. It's like they've hit the ground running. It feels like we were just in Miami, and they're ready to play again together. And Gordon's just been a real calming presence for us, just having his professionalism, just his spirit out there on the floor has been a great addition to our group. And LaMelo, boy, I mean, if you're not watching him when he has the ball, you better get your eyes up because that ball's coming. So he's got elite playmaking ability. Get your hands ready because he's going to find you. So I know you probably asked for one, but I gave you a couple.
Thanks, Coach.